Hi, welcome to the Renew Wellbeing Lent Easter retreat. We're going to be looking at the concept of forgiveness in this retreat. So you can take this retreat whenever you wish to do so and use this concept of forgiveness, which is massively important to us as a wellbeing charity. The idea that we are forgiven. This is not a you're good enough or aren't we all wonderful, you are enough sort of a movement. This is a sinners saved by grace movement. In our rhythms of prayer 3 times a day, we ask for God's forgiveness. We receive his forgiveness. We choose to offer forgiveness. People have sometimes said to me, what are you doing in your life, Ruth, that you need to ask for forgiveness so much? But I know myself to be someone who needs to know the forgiveness of God frequently, hourly, daily, minutely. It's part of the practice of the presence of God for me, is that he forgives me. That's what allows me to come into his presence in the first place. And so this Easter story in which we find ourselves causes us to pause and remember that that forgiveness cost him everything. Free to us, costly to him. So we find ourselves in a story of forgiveness to ponder. And also, I'd love for you to take some time during this retreat to read one of the Gospels' accounts of the Easter story. Maybe take the whole of that sort of Easter week and read it through slowly during this retreat. But we shall concentrate on Luke chapter 15, verses 11 to 32, where there's this amazing parable that Jesus tells of the prodigal son. This is a beautiful and familiar parable. And so looking at it again, looking at the forgiveness that the father offers to the wayward son, looking at what forgiveness looks like in this passage, will help us to receive that forgiveness for ourselves constantly and offer that forgiveness in a broken world. I really love the painting by Rembrandt, the Return of the Prodigal painting. I think it would be good to spend some time just looking at that, gazing on it. You might want to get a different version than the one that's in the leaflet. There is a little print of it in the leaflet, but you might want to have a look at it on a big screen or go and have a look at it in a gallery. This is a beautiful painting. If you look at the hands of the father, you'll see a male and a female hand. There's something about the wholeness that Rembrandt sees in the love of the parent for the child that has gone astray. And if you read in the passage, one of the things you probably won't see is the son having to grovel and beg for forgiveness. You'll see a father waiting and watching for the son returning. You'll see a father running to meet his wayward son, even before the son can offer a word of penitence that he's in his father's embrace. That the Father is so much more willing to forgive us than we are even to ask for forgiveness. All we need to do is turn away from the pig swill we're in, and he runs to meet us. So as you ponder this story of forgiveness, my prayer is for all of us that that forgiveness will sink a little deeper into our lives and our habits and our practices and the way in which we view one another, and the forgiveness that we can offer towards ourselves. Sometimes that's the hardest person to forgive, isn't it? We know God's forgiveness, we can forgive other people, but forgiving ourselves for getting it wrong again is still something that this wonderful story of well-being is all about. So take some time with the concept of forgiveness, take some time in this story, this beautiful story. There are other lovely stories of forgiveness that Jesus tells in Luke 15. You might choose to go to one of those instead if you've spent too much time with the prodigal son. There are other resources that might help you. I particularly love a book by Henry Nouwen called The Return of the Prodigal. There's this lovely poem I'd like to read to you now from Gerard Kelly's book Spoken Worship, and I'm just going to read that now as a blessing as you get going on your retreat day. Prodigal blessing. May you always know where the road home begins and have the courage to walk the first mile. May you never be too far from a lifeline and never go too far to dial. May you know that the God who pursues you is a hunter whose bullets bleed mercy. May artful accidents of grace explode at every turn of your journey. May you trip over truth and fall headlong into hope. May redemption rain down all around you. May God's glory catch you napping and God's story catch your breath and God's gratuity perpetually astound you. May choices you thought you'd made at random turn out to be key to moving on. May the darkness that sometimes surround you prove to be the moment before dawn. May you bathe in the light of a prodigal son and be nourished by generous earth. May the struggles you meet make you stronger, and even old wounds bring new wonders to birth. May you trip over truth and fall headlong into hope. May redemption rain down all around you. May God's glory catch you napping and God's story catch your breath and God's gratuity perpetually astound you. May the unplanned kindness of strangers bring to mind a long forgotten song. May the unexpected kisses of a star-filled sky remind you of where you belong. And even if you never return to find peace among those who have loved you and hurt you so, may you seek your soul's Redeemer and connect with your Creator and make your home with the Father who waits for you. May you trip over truth and fall headlong into hope. May redemption rain down all around you. May God's glory catch you napping and God's story catch your breath and God's gratuity perpetually astound you.